I'm Trez Burden, and what I want to talk about today is liberal arrogance. How every now and then we get a peek at what politicians really think of the people who vote for them. And you mainly get this out of liberals. When you don't just blindly support them, you get a glimpse at who they really are. They'll get caught behind a microphone or a camera and they'll just say the most horrible things about the people who've been voting for them for decades in some cases. In this case in particular, Senator Mary Landrieu of Louisiana, she got caught saying that Southerners now that she's doing bad and it's being predicted that she won't be reelected a fourth time to go to the Senate to represent Louisiana for another 6 years. She said recently that Southerners are they're basically racist and sexist, and that's that's so insulting when since she's been a senator since 1996. She's been elected 3 times. This would be her fourth time. So if Southerners are so racist and sexist, what were they when they voted for her the first 3 times? You know? And because you hear this nonsense whenever these people are in trouble or whenever they're about to get kicked out of Washington or kicked out of office. That's when you hear this stuff. So as long as you're blindly supporting these people, I guess you're okay then. But when you're about to throw their ass out, now you're these rubes and they just don't get it and they're racist and they're sexist. And I don't see how she can insult the South like that. How can you be a Southerner? She's of Washington now because I don't even think she has property in Louisiana. She is of Washington now. She's been there for 18 years and looking to be there another 6 years. So she insulted the people who sent her to Washington and have been sending her to Washington for almost 20 years now. But that's just it. Sometimes you get an honest glimpse at who these people are when they're in trouble. People show their stripes. I think when they're under pressure, I think you get to see a person's true colors. And just like Barack Obama in 2008, he's in Pennsylvania, and I don't know how he was polling at the time, but then he's basically saying, these people are rubes, they're Bible in their guns, and they 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 constantly insult the people whose support they want. And I guess with modern technology, now with these phones and cameras everywhere, you sometimes it's much easier now to get a glimpse at the real person and what they really think of you. I mean, because they're on these podiums telling you, oh, yeah, yeah, vote for me. Oh, you're great. I'm in the great state of whatever. And, and they talk to you and they gas you up. But then, you catch them at a moment and you get to hear what they really think of you. And it's never good. Liberals are extremely arrogant. I mean, even liberal Republicans. I mean, John McCain, when we have the nerve to do we dare disagree with him or stand up against something he wants, and he calls you all kinds of names. He called conservatives hobbits, and it goes, Arlen Specter, Dick Ruger, he loses his primary, and you hear things that he has to say when he hasn't lived in his own state of Indiana in decades. And you just when you wise up to these people, they just call you some of the most awful things, and you get to hear what they really think of you. And I mean, there's like no appreciation. Thanks for letting me serve you for 6 terms, or thank you for letting me serve you for 3 terms. No, it's always, how dare you? How dare you throw me out? I'm great. You just you were just too dumb to recognize my greatness. And that is the liberal mindset. You're too stupid to understand how great they are when you finally wake up and throw them out, or when they're in fear of being thrown out. and it's sick, but and I'm always happy when I mean, I'm a conservative, but I like to see, I love it long time, when any longtime senator or congressman gets thrown out, even from my own party, because I believe in rotation in government. I believe in term limits. You don't let these people get too comfortable down there. You don't let it get to the point where they can be that cocky and call you stupid when you're ready to throw them out. If anything, we're stupid for sending you back there so many times. But we just recently with the midterm elections coming up, and today is it is the early morning of November 2nd right now. So we're 2 days away from a major midterm election, where it's a where we it really the policies of of 6 years of Barack Obama is really guiding this election, and people people we just don't want what he's dishing out. And now you have the Democrats this cycle are defending way more seats than Republicans are. I believe every cycle it's 33 seats being decided in the Senate, and I believe this time the Democrats are defending 21 seats to the Republicans 12, something like that. But I know they're defending like twice as many seats this time. And many of these Democratic senators, they are from more conservative states, and that's exactly what Mary Landrieu said. Well, the South hasn't been too kind to minorities and women, and she said, and she is from a more conservative leaning state, the southern state of Louisiana. So I think she was trying to insult conservatives, but she insulted the South altogether. And like just saying that they're too dumb to realize how great she is because she's doing bad. I mean, and I believe the Republicans are going to smash her. And I believe there are two Republicans in that race. You have Cassidy, and then the Citizens candidate, you have Rob Maness. And I believe if she only had one opponent, she would get trounced. But it's going to go into a runoff, and she's going to be defeated. But I don't know. It's just the liberal mindset is that they're great. You're lucky to have them. And if you don't realize how lucky you are to have them, then you're stupid. And they lash out. And they let you know just how stupid they think you are. And how racist and how sexist. And because you must be something. Because it can't be them. It can't be that they supported bad policies, that they vote 97, 99, 100% of the time with Barack Obama for his destructive policies. It can't be that. It can't be anything they did. It has to be that you don't get it. Just like when they were trying to sell us Obamacare or any one of these behemoth legislations that they want passed. It's always that, and the surveys will show that, 60% of Americans don't support it, or 57% of Americans don't support it, because Obamacare never had a majority of American support. At no point since its introduction did it ever have the majority of American support. So, and when they're trying to get things passed and they see that Americans by and large don't support it, liberals always say, well, it's the messaging. We have to work on our messaging. And what that really means is, well, they don't get it. The people are stupid. They don't get how great this legislation is that we're trying to sell them. So it's not that the legislation is terrible, or that they just don't get how good this thing is that we want to give to them. It's always in reverse. They don't get it. No, we get it. It's terrible. You're taking away our private health care. We do get it. But they will never give you credit for understanding what they're trying to sell you. They always say, "Oh, well, it's in the messaging. It's in we have to sell it better. We have to get out there. We have to get out there and explain it better." And all that really means is that, well, this is great. They're just too dumb to get it, and we have to do a better job at selling it to them. And the Mary Landrieu case just stood out. It's just because this goes on all the time, but the Mary Landrieu thing, it's recent. It's in the news now, and it's just one of those situations that stood out where you really get to see just how arrogant these Washington politicians are, and just what the liberal mindset is when you finally wake up and reject them. And I wish that these people would get rejected a lot more often. I mean, whether term limits are in the books of not or not, we just need to get rid of these people. I mean, hey, go back and live. I don't believe in a lifetime in Washington for anyone, not for a conservative, a liberal. No, I don't believe in a lifetime in Washington. I don't even think you should be allowed to live in Washington after you get out of office. I believe you should have to leave. Go live in the conditions that you help create. But most people never leave. When they get voted out, they don't go back to their states or go back and run businesses or anything like that. They stay on K Street and they lobby. They become these high paid Washington insiders. They join the consultant class, or some of them even get appointed to ambassadorships. But they never leave government. They never leave Washington. These are extremely arrogant people, and I'm always happy when it gets exposed or when these people get thrown out. And just know that I'm going to pop me a top when Mary Landrieu's defeated, because she richly deserves it, just as so many others do. And that's my message today. And I'm Trez Burden at Tresidential on Twitter. Hit me up. And I will see you after Election Day.